What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. I'm gonna tell you 3 unsolved mysteries that they keep me up at night. Every night I'm always thinking about them, and I really think you guys will find these interesting. So the first case I'm gonna talk about is one that is just my all-time, every time I think about it I just go crazy. So I don't know if any of you guys have heard of Elisa Lam. She was a young woman who was just traveling the world right after she finished school, and she just wanted to see everything. And you know, her whole trip was going really well up until she stayed at the Cecil Hotel, now known as the Stay on Main Hotel in downtown LA. Now, right when you hear about this, you're like, okay, someone went missing in a hotel. You know, obviously that's not good, but it's not like the spookiest story you ever heard until you hear about everything that's happened in this hotel. Now, if you watch American Horror Story, they made a whole season based on this hotel, and just numerous serial killers have stayed there, like the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez. Numerous people have killed themselves there. There's been countless reportings of hauntings happening in that hotel. I myself wanted to go stay there, but they're closed right now, and I think they're not opening back up, or they're renovating. I'm not sure what the deal is, but I know you can't book anything. So this hotel just has a very paranormal, dark history right off the bat. So she's staying in this hotel with a very, very bad history already, and that's when things start to go wrong for Elisa. She all of a sudden starts acting very strange. So at first she was staying in like a multi-room with a couple other people, which is something they used to do back then. Like they would pair, I don't know, that still seems weird to me, but I guess they would just have random people stay in one big suite and just have different rooms rather than paying for one of their own suites. I guess it was cheaper, I have no idea. Other people that were staying in this suite with her started reporting that she was acting kind of strange. So the hotel actually decided to move her into a room by herself. And then she goes in this elevator and has this crazy experience, and that tape is the last time she's ever seen again. She's been on this big trip where she's been traveling a bunch of different places and hasn't had any issues. So that leads me to believe it's something in the actual hotel. Everything just is off in this tape. The elevator doors don't close, which just doesn't happen unless someone's in the way, which no one is in the way unless it was a ghost. She's like pressing a bunch of buttons, nothing's happening. She starts like looking like she's hiding from someone, even though she seems to be alone through the whole tape. She starts doing weird things with her hands. It's just a very scary tape to watch. I get so uncomfortable watching it, but I have to watch it over and over again because you just don't know what's going on. People think that the tape might have been tampered with and stuff, but even if it was tampered with, this woman is still like acting crazy and no one knows what's going on. A lot of people think she was just tripping on drugs. A lot of people think that maybe she was experiencing some sort of paranormal activity. There's rumors she was playing a hotel game, which is where you basically press a bunch of different floors until you end up in another world, basically, where you're by yourself, which is spooky in itself. And a lot of people just have all these different theories. After she went missing, she was later found dead 18 days later in the hotel water tank. And she was only found because the guests were complaining about weird colors and taste in the water. So she was decaying in the water tank for 18 days while everyone in the hotel was drinking the water. So that's just in itself crazy. But it gets crazier because she was in the water tank, dead, naked, with her clothes beside her in the tank. The door to the water tank was closed. Not only would it be impossible for her to close the door behind her after she's in the water tank, a lot of people don't even see how she could get up there. There's a lot of theories around this water tank, and they all kind of end with the fact that she could not have ended up in there alone. So no one knows what happened. People think maybe a hotel worker could have killed her, but I don't see, why that would have happened, and then there must have been so many other ways to get rid of a body than just putting it in a water tank that people are gonna end up drinking and finding out what's happening. That doesn't seem very clear to me. People think she might have killed herself, but again, you can't just get into that tank by yourself, close the door, and it's just impossible. People think anyone really could have did it. That hotel is known for having like killers stay there, but it would just be impossible to get a body up there into that water tank. It just, nothing adds up. And I lean towards paranormal activity because just the way she's acting, I think she could have been possessed. So everything is just so weird. There's no suspects in the case. It's still unsolved, and no one knows what happened to Elisa Lam. There is so many theories. There's so much going on. A lot of people think there was an outbreak of tuberculosis going on around that time, and the vaccine for that is called Lam Elisa. So a lot of people think Elisa Lam never even existed and it was just an actress and it was all diversion, because now when you type in Elisa Lam, you don't see anything having to do with tuberculosis because there's millions and millions of results about Elisa Lam. The whole thing is just so spooky, and I've never seen a case like this. Now, another one that keeps me up at night, and this is one that really got me into true crime, and that is JonBenét Ramsey. Now, I'm pretty sure we've all heard of her. I was really young when it happened, but I, like many other people, have come across the story at one time or another and was just fascinated by it. And not fascinated in a good way, obviously, like just shocked by it. So JonBenét Ramsey was a young girl, and she was a pageant girl, and she was from a very wealthy family that consisted of her dad, JonBenét, her mom, Patsy Ramsey, and her brother, Burke Ramsey. And it was a really happy family. Not much happened. John did have a daughter that had previously died in a car crash. But other than that, it was a picture-perfect family, and it was with a different wife, and it was just a while back in his life. Really, everything was going great for this family. And then one Christmas Eve night, the family gets home from a dinner party, and they carry JonBenét upstairs because she's asleep, so you carry your daughter upstairs, put her to bed, and then Patsy wakes up in the middle of the night, and there's a ransom note, and JonBenét was gone. The amount of money that they asked for in order to get JonBenét back was JonBenét's raise or something that year, the exact amount to the dollar. So there was just a lot of weird coincidences, and the phone call is just, I do sense a lot of fear and pain in her voice. Just take a listen.
What's going on there, ma'am?
We have a kidnapping. Hurry, please.
Explain to me what's going on, okay?
There's a note left and our daughter's gone.
A note was left and your daughter is gone? How old is your daughter?
6 years old. She's gone. 6 years old.
How long ago was this?
I don't know. I just found the note. And my daughter's gone.
Does it say who took her?
What?
Does it say who took her?
I don't know. There's a ransom note here.
It's a ransom note?
It says SBTC. Victory. Please.
Okay, what's your name? Are you
Patsy Ramsey? I'm the mother. Oh my God. Please.
I'm sending an officer over, okay?
Please.
Do you know how long she's been gone?
No, I don't. Please, we just got out. Is she right here? Oh my God, please.
Okay, well,
There's somebody.
I am, honey.
Please.
Take a deep breath for me,
Please,
okay?
hurry.
Patsy.
The note was signed some weird couple letters that no one even knows what stands for to this day. So eventually the cops arrived and just handled it awfully. They let a bunch of people into the house to help the family cope because they did think it was a kidnapping at the time, but it's still a crime scene and they should not have done that. And there's just people walking all around the house, and the cop even tells the father and a friend to go search the house again because the house was just really big and it wouldn't hurt, keep their mind occupied, and it just couldn't hurt. So, which is just unheard of. That's not supposed to happen at all. So the father ends up searching around and finds JonBenét dead. She had a hit to the head and then was strangled. So the father just freaks out and carries JonBenét upstairs, freaking out frantically, which, you know, as a parent, you're probably gonna pick up your daughter, hold her, and just like, you know, grieve. But that should not have happened because now the body was tampered with. A lot of evidence was just lost when that happened. So now this is a murder instead of a kidnapping, which is just so weird because why leave the note then if the daughter ended up dying? And then you end up finding out that the note was left on a pad that was from their house. So someone would have had to sit down there and write the note if it was someone from outside the house. So now you're talking someone's, and it was a lengthy note. So now you're talking someone going in there, trying to kidnap this girl, killing her either accidentally or on purpose, and then sitting there and writing at least like a 45-minute ransom note. Patsy's handwriting actually came back inconclusive with the notepad, but everyone else's was good.
Their faces are instantly recognizable. But John and Patsy Ramsey are famous in a way no one would want. Although they've never been publicly called suspects.
This case is still unsolved, and there's a lot of theories. People think it could have been this random secret Santa kind of guy JonBenét ended up giving a gift to, and he actually asked his ashes to be buried with the gift JonBenét gave him. So, you know, he was a little off because he didn't really know JonBenét, he was just a Santa. So it was really weird how connected he felt with JonBenét after she passed, but it never really got pinned on him. But most people think it was either Patsy or the dad or Burke. Now, Burke did do a interview on Dr. Phil where he just, a lot of things he said just either didn't add up with the original story Patsy told years ago, or were just plain creepy. There were some times where he was smiling while talking, and you know, I'm someone who when I get nervous, I smile, but he was doing it like the whole interview, and it's just, I don't know. But I also can't, you know, say that's evidence that he did it. But a lot of people think someone in the family killed her. A lot of people think like the dad was maybe abusing her. So this one just really keeps me up at night because it's just like such a friendly neighborhood, this wealthy family, never have any issues. And on a Christmas Eve night, they go to bed and wake up to someone dead in their house in the wine cellar. So there's so many people in this house. Someone must know something that's just so scary to think about. Like imagine you're a kid and you're going to bed and you wake up and this is what you woke up to, and it's like, what happened while I was asleep? Who was in this house? It's just so scary. Now my third and final one is one that is really freaky to me and I've done a lot of research on, and it's the Zodiac killer. So this guy would kill people, brag about it to news articles, and even call the victims that survived and taunt them. Or just call random people that were researching him and taunt them. He would breathe into the phone, like do weird stuff. And this guy has never been caught, but a lot of people think he must be dead by now, but he could be alive, who knows? And there's so many suspects of who it could be, but no one knows who it could be. And that scares me so much about this guy was he was just like literally a hunter for humans. And he was just so freaky and demented, calling people, making weird noises. And you gotta think, what if this was someone's dad, someone's grandpa, and this is just his whole secret life? And I'll just show you some clips, and it's just so eerie.
Conclusive enough to link the murderer of Celia Shepard to other murders in the Vallejo area in the past year.
Anywhere in the Bay Area or anywhere, he should go to the nearest law enforcement agency and turn himself in. And we will try to do whatever we can to help this man.
In speaking with one of the deputies who was investigating this thing, he said that the first thing you told a deputy out there was to give some idea of a description of the man. Do you understand now how your mind was able to work that well under those conditions? You really did an exceptional job in that.
Well, through the whole thing, like I mentioned before, at the beginning, I did think I was going to die. And so from that moment on, one has to have certain goals that you have to set. The first goal, of course, was to live. I suppose the second goal was to get untied. The next one was to get help.
For no reason at all. Just a hooded man came up with a pistol drawn on him, tied him up, and then told him he had to kill him. So
This guy is a pathological psycho killer.
Who knows how many people he's actually killed? All we know is what he's admitted to, but there could be so much more. A lot of people think it was this guy Arthur Lee Allen because there was a time he had a watch on that said Zodiac. He was even arrested for a different charge, and during the whole time he was in jail, the letter stopped, and then when he got out, they started again. So he, a lot of people think, is the main suspect, but they've never had enough evidence to pin it on him, and to this day it's unsolved. And imagine being one of the victims and just living every day after surviving and then getting phone calls and just having to live your whole life knowing that this person is still out there. He's truly like one of the truest forms of evil, and it just makes me shiver. So these are my top 3 freaky unsolved mysteries that keep me up at night. I have so many more, but these ones are just the main ones for me, especially the Elisa Lam one. That one just freaks me out, because they really could, if it was a paranormal attempt, it could be anyone. That could be me in that elevator that's happening to, you know? It's just so scary. The more we talk about these unsolved cases, the more chances it has of being solved. And I know if I was one of the victims, I would want it to get out there as much as I could. Comment down below what you guys think of these cases, what are your opinions, and you can even leave me some requests to cover during this month. Thank you so much for watching.